Look at us, we some island boys. Look at them, they island boys. Island boys certified. Them right there. We just doing the things that island boys do in Puerto Rico. Look at that, we are island boys, we the finest boys. God bless us with the finest toys. And we look back at the past to clearly see the future. Think about them kids that had to be looters and shooters, just to make a difference in the way that they living. We gotta make changes in the way that we live for all man. I don't really understand, how your brother live in poverty and you don't really care. The world don't care about love, it only care about fear. And that's sad to say, cause we, island boys today. Island boys. Look at them, look at them, look at them. They some island boys. Look at us.
Hey guys, welcome to the first video of the year for the Chill Zone. And I'm very excited that I'm doing this particular video because we are going to get your OriginTrail v6 testnet nodes up and running. As you guys know, the OriginTrail v6 upgrade is here, and we are going through the phases of taking it through testnet to mainnet, and in order to really get to the point where we want to be with the network, we're going to want to make sure that we have, hit all of our KPIs and have lots of telemetry data to send back to the OriginTrail team for further improvements. Of course, v6 comes with a various amounts of updates, as you can see here on my screen. Things like UAL. We will be diving into all of these beautiful updates, but really and truly today what we really want to focus on is getting your v6 nodes up and running so that we can supercharge the testnet phase and see if we can break this wonderful update. So here we are on the OriginTrail official documentation to set up your OriginTrail v6 nodes. Now I will have you know that this is a Dockerless install. So of course Docker is really just there for ease of use for newbies and whatnot. And of course both sides, I was informed with the original testnet, the original network for the OriginTrail decentralized network, it was Dockerless. So needless to say, we're just going to follow these step by step, and in the end we're going to make sure that you have your node up and running. So first of all, you're going to have, of course, the prerequisites. Now you're going to have a dedicated server somewhere with these specific requirements in order to have your node up and running successfully. And of course you need to have GraphDB installed, because of course we're building on a decentralized knowledge graph. You can get this is free, you can download this anywhere. We'll get to that after, but first we want to get you set up with your OriginTrail node, your actual server itself. Now to get that done, I utilize a software or a service called DigitalOcean. Now DigitalOcean allows you to spawn as many of these little VPSs as you can afford, but the interface is very beautiful, very easy to use, and that's why I stick with DigitalOcean, and a lot of other people use DigitalOcean. But keep in mind, DigitalOcean is not the only player in this sea. There are some others, so if you do want to fish around, you can do that, but we just use DigitalOcean. The majority of the OriginTrail community does. So after you signed up, you've paid for your account, and you've got into your DigitalOcean account, it should look something like this, where it's pretty empty. You have nothing in here. And what we're going to do here is create a droplet or launch a server on DigitalOcean to get you started. So of course, let's hit a droplet. We hit create, and then we're going to hit droplet. And then we're looking at Ubuntu. That's the server that we're going to launch. And this is how much you would be paying to run these different nodes, different specifications on this server. If you were to, run it for however much a month. So for example, if I wanted 8 gigabytes of RAM, I'm going to be paying $48 for that. Meanwhile, I may just be, maybe 2 gigabytes is just enough. So based on the documentation that we saw over here, we need 4 gigabytes of dedicated RAM, 2 CPUs, and 50 gigabytes of hard drive space minimum. So, that's looking somewhere around here. Thinking too deep about it. We're just going to run the $12 a month just to get you situated. You can choose whatever you're doing. We're doing this one here. We're going to launch in, choose your favorite spot, New York. And I'm going to set a password for mine. All right, my password is set, and I'm going to set this to v6 testnet. And let's hit, now if you are running if you were running a live node, I would obviously suggest you enable backups no matter what. Backups save your lives, it saves time, saves money as well. So $2.40 a month as compared to losing your entire stack or losing all of your data, all of your information in a live environment, I suggest running a backup. But of course, testnet, we don't necessarily care too much. We're going to spawn however many of these and destroy however many of these droplets. So let's go ahead and create this droplet and see what happens here. And as you can see, my v6 testnet droplet is spinning up. It takes a little bit, just a couple seconds. You're going to see this bar move from the middle here, move all the way until it's green. Yep, there we go. And then we will be able to enter our node. Now, if you are, as you can see here, you have an IP address. We will be using this because this is your host name. But if you are using the interface for DigitalOcean, you can click Access Console and launch your droplet console. And this will lead you into an area where you will then be able to follow all of the commands and follow all of the steps that we are about to do next. Yeah, so it took some time to connect, but as you can see, we've successfully connected, and this is where you can enter all of these future commands that we're going to be running here. So if you're doing that, that's fine. Me, I use a third-party software called Terminus that allows me to successfully manage all of my nodes in like one really nice, beautiful area without having to launch between all these different consoles and whatnot, launch all these different. All right, so I'm signed into my application that allows me to manage my nodes. And as you can see, I'm logged in as root on my v6 testnet node. Now, based on the documentation, we have successfully completed this prerequisite. We have signed in, and now we're going to move forward with installing our graph database, which is basically the foundation of all the things we're trying to build and test today. So before we begin running all of these commands and whatnot, let's just make sure we have all of our packages updated. So we've got our general update, our system packages updated. Now let's just go ahead and run this install. We're just going to copy and paste. It's that simple, guys. Hit Y for yes and move along. All right, so you know this is very successful when you see this done at the bottom. Now, if you see anything like a little little error codes, you may have had some issues in installing your GRE, which it will produce an issue once you start to try to launch your graph database. So let's go ahead and so now that we've got that installed, one thing we're going to want to do is unzip this particular graph database. But of course, we don't have this file yet. So how do you get this file? Well, you go to the official website, as it says here. In order to download GraphDB, please visit their official website. As you visit their website, you said right here it says download GraphDB for free. So you fill out its information, and it will shoot you an email. And once you do receive that email, well, what you're going to click is this link right here, GraphDB as a standalone distributive. What this will do is give you the exact zip file that we're looking for here. It'll be downloaded to your local system. Now, what you have to do is upload this particular file right here. You have to upload this to your server. Now, the tool that I am using, SFTP, it allows me, fortunately enough, it allows me the ability to go in here and directly access the node that I'm working with, and I can upload this file over to my server. So this is what it looks like. As I said right here, GraphDB, I just downloaded it and now I'm uploading it to my server, my OriginTrail node or instance. So we're just going to give this some time. As you can see, it's taking about 2 minutes. We're just going to give this some time to complete, and once it's complete, we're going to continue following along the OriginTrail documentation by installing, unzipping the file, taking all the packages out, and then we're going to get our GraphDB up and running. So let's give that a minute. All right, so as you can see, our upload has been completed, and let's check our server just to make sure the file is there. We're gonna do ls, and there we go. We see GraphDB is on our server. So let's go ahead and unzip this file, but I warn you, you will run into an issue, and here's the issue. You can't unzip it because unzip is not installed. So what we're gonna do is install unzip, apt install unzip, and now we should be able to perform our unzip of GraphDB. So let's verify that the unzip has been successful, and there we go. We see that we have our version of GraphDB there. So now what we're going to do is get our GraphDB up and running, and by again copy and copy and paste, I'm sorry. So let's hit enter here. So what we're going to do now is verify that the graph database is actually running. Now, when it's what it says here is when GraphDB is started, please check the nohub out file that was generated in order to confirm that it is running in the background. So let's see if we even have that file existing, and now we see that we do have that file. So let's check the contents of the file by doing nano nohub.out. Now, if you see all of this, congratulations, your graph database is successfully running. Now, if it says cannot find Java binaries, it says something like cannot find Java binaries. Now that means your graph database is not your JRE, the absolutely first step that we did. It did not run. It did not install correctly. So it's not bad. You just need to install your Java correctly or research to see if what version and whatnot you've got. So now that we know that the graph database is running, we're gonna hop on out of here by doing Control v, and we're going to say, well, we are moving along to the next steps of this installation. So in step 1, what you're going to have to do is install npm, your node package manager, and we're going to also have to install Node.js, but version 14. Now, it's very important to keep in mind the version of Node you'll be installing today. So to go ahead and perform these steps, again, we're going to copy the steps. This is change directory. We're going to end up in the same directory that we're in. We're going to copy and paste line by line and run each line. Okay, now if you do see this, all right, I'm going to let it finish. If you do see this, now what you're noticing here is that you see a lot of unexpected operator errors. All right, so what we're going to do is check the version of Node right here, just to show you something. So you see it still says Node is not installed. If you run into this issue, go ahead and just copy this exactly right here and run it. Now what this should do is install the latest version of Node. So now let's do Node v, and voila, we have our version 14 version of Node installed, and we can also check our version of npm just to make sure that we have that installed as well, npm v. And yes, we do have the latest version of npm installed. So we have successfully completed step 1 of the install process for your OriginTrail decentralized network v6 testnet Node. That is a mouthful. So yeah, let's go ahead and on to step 2. We're going to copy again and paste. We're using npm to install forever. You go ahead and let this run on through and set on up. You will see these signs. These are normal. Do not be afraid. They're normal. They're just giving you some warnings. And step number 2 is successfully complete. Now we're moving on to step number 3, which is your MySQL and local operational database setup. So again, nothing we haven't said before. Huh? Copy and paste. Go ahead and hit Y and then enter for yes. All right, that's installed. Now we're going to go over to our SQL server and, well, install our SQL server. Now there are a couple of things we're going to have to fix after this part here. It's not very complicated. It's very easy, but you may be flustered if you don't know what to do. So don't worry, we'll get to that as soon as we're done with this portion of the install. So let's go. Let it run, baby. All right, so we're going to start our SQL server right here. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. All right, so this is the part where I'm telling you right now we have to do a little bit of work. A community member by the name of Calvin discovered, "Hi tracers, we have found an issue related to the disk space allocation caused by MySQL binary logs. We have already addressed it on our nodes and now observing the state. Here's the issue report. While in the comments you will find how to solve it on your end, please share with other community members who already have set up nodes. We will shortly update the official documentation to include necessary steps for mitigating it." So this is why we are now moving forward with these steps here. This is the updated, most up-to-date version of the OriginTrail documentation for your v6 testnet node. So let's go ahead and copy this right here. All right, and now what we are in the log file. So we're going to scroll all the way down until we see this max bin log file size, max bin log size. That's what we're looking at right here. Right, and we're going to comment it out by adding this number sign. What that does is it makes the program overlook it, so it's no longer applying that metric to SQL, to the database. So now what we're going to do is copy and disable our logs. Just hit enter, go back to that line and paste and exit and save. And now we're going to restart MySQL. We're going to restart the service, and voila. So your SQL is successfully set up. You are ready to go with downloading your actual OriginTrail node files in step 4. Let's begin. So of course, we're going to clone that folder from GitHub down to our local file, to our local system. So if we do ls, now we see we have an OT node folder because we just ran that command to download it. So now we're going to go into that OT node folder by cd OT node, and we can take a quick look around here to see what you like. All right, copy, enter. All right, so we're accessing the v6 testnet release, and now we're going to do npm install. So we're installing all of our packages, and by the end of this process, we should be able to enable our ports, configure our node, and send it live. So for that, stay tuned because we're still installing. It seems we have installed and we are looking good. We are ready to go. All right, so let's go ahead and enable these ports. Right, so what we're going to want to do here is ufw allow, I believe, 8900, and give me 2 ampersands, ufw allow 9000, and let me get a quick little ufw 22 tcp. Whoops. And whoop, I didn't put my allow. See that? All right. So now let's do ufw enable and ufw status just to take a look at it. So we're going to enable all of these ports to be running, and we're going to take a look to see if they are actually opened. And as we can see, our ports are open to allow communication from anywhere. All right, so we have completed step number 6. So what we're going to do is create our environment file, which allows our node to know which environment it's running in. And we're running in the testnet environment. Save that, close it out. All right, and now this is where we create our node configuration file. We're going to create our node configuration file, but before we do that, we have to get something situated. We need to have a testnet wallet, right, with some Matic on there. So right now the testnet is not requiring any testnet track tokens or any tokens to really launch a node. So all you need is that that Polygon testnet Matic. So to get that, of course, I've already gone ahead and created a v6 testnet wallet, but as you can see, this is connected to the Ethereum mainnet. That's not what we want to do. So to get connected to the Mumbai testnet in MetaMask, you go to chainlist.org, and what you can see here is you can search for if you type poly in here, you're going to see the Polygon testnet Mumbai testnet pop up, and all you have to do is connect your wallet to this website. So I'm connecting my v6 testnet wallet. It's connected, and I'm adding the testnet to my MetaMask. Let me pull this down so you can see. And as you can see, it says allow this site to switch, and I'm just going to hit switch network. And if we head to my MetaMask again, now we can see that, hey, I'm on the Mumbai testnet and it's asking for Matic. There we go. We've successfully set up our wallet and connected it to the Polygon testnet. So let's copy that off and let's head over to the very same faucet. So a faucet gives you like fake testnet tokens that you can play with. So let's head over to the faucet. And since we are connected to the Mumbai, we want Matic for our wallet, right? We're gonna just copy the address that we want to send to, because remember, this is the exact address from my testnet wallet. Pasted it here, and let's hit submit. All right, So it says it may take 1 to 2 minutes, and we should see at some point in time our wallet update with Matic tokens. So let's wait around. All right, my beautiful folks, as you can see, our wallet has been updated with the Matic that we requested from the faucet. So what we're going to do now is head back to the OriginTrail documentation, and as it says here, we need to create this node RC file, right? So we're going to go to GitHub, the example, and this is an example of the things we need to put in there. Most of this just stays the same, all right? So I created a text document that represents this. Okay, so it's the same thing. I just created a text document, and what I did was I took the address. I just copied the address for the public address for my wallet, and I pasted it in here into the public key. All right, and then I went back into this same file, account details, and I exported the private key for this particular wallet. So once I have the private key exposed, I copy that and I pasted it right here. There we go. All right, so you enter your credentials and whatnot as you see fit. One thing I did note to add was the IP address for my own node as well. And you should be good to go. Once you've got your node configuration files filled out and all your password information figured out and filled out the way you have your information set up, what you're going to do is you're going to create the node RC file. Now, how we do that is we're going to head to our server. We're going to do nano, of course, copy this file name right here, right? And we're going to open this file. And the exact same documentation, we're just going to copy that in there, paste, exit, and save. And you have successfully completed step number 8. Now remember, your information should be custom to however you have your credential systems set up. So now that we have our node created, we have our node configuration file created. Now we're going to run our database migrations. All right, looking good. And now we are for the first time going to start our v6 testnet node. So I ended up starting the node twice, so that's why we see 2 starts here. But as you can see, our node is successfully running. We have, our dependencies are in. We have our node is running in the testnet environment. We have our graph database loaded. We have our node communicating. We have discovered other ports. And now we're going to be waiting for our first non-normal message, which is our first assertion, to see if we are indeed communicating. And there we go. Our first assertion is live on the OriginTrail decentralized network testnet, and it is successfully inserted. So guys, now that you've got your v6 node up and running, there are some other things I'd like to bring to your attention right now. If you head into the OriginTrail node group, you would see an awesome message by Cosme here. He's helping us. He's equipped us with tools to easily launch and play with the OriginTrail decentralized network. You're going to be able to do node publishings on the network just to stress test the network. These are the things that we actually kind of need. So I just want to bring this to your attention. We have some very loyal and active community members in the node group that are they work very hard at providing you guys with help and support for your nodes. They're calling on us to stress test the network, do some publishing to the network and see if we can push it to the limits. Right now we are seeing somewhere around 100,000 jobs, if I believe. I'm not sure if that's totally correct, but it's about 100,000 jobs in the last 48 or something hours. So to me, that's a lot. Of course, this is a test numbers, so that doesn't mean that when it goes on to mainnet we will have those numbers by default. but we don't know, it could exceed even that. So what we're looking for is just to make sure that this testnet gets to mainnet by doing our job, by stress testing the network. So thank you to Calvin, Cosme, and all of you guys who have been in the Node group doing that great work. I really appreciate it. And of course, we see and appreciate all the work you guys are doing. So if you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Smash the like button, smash the share, smash the subscribe, and continue to support the Chill Zone by doing all that you already do. Just continue to support, continue to show love, and thank you guys, and Happy New Year. And guys, let's walk into the future together. Let's walk into the future together. Let's hope that we're building a human-centric technology that can really support positive interactions throughout humanity for generations to come. Because technologies are tools that can be used for good and evil. So let's hope and build that. Let's hope that we build for good, and let's do good with it. All right, guys. Love you all. Bye.